So I know there's a lot of men out there who have dealt with messages or situations, probably even a lot worse than I have, that might be watching this podcast. What can they do? What action steps can they take to start to deal with some of these messages, some of this repressed emotion, some of this energy that's stored in their bodies?
Well, several things. One, you already mentioned, if you can find a men's group,
Yep.
And there aren't nearly enough of them, but if you can find one, that can be a great help, because it can be very helpful if you're just sitting there and just observing and seeing another man go into his grief and seeing him be quietly but getting solid support from the other men. They're not criticizing him. They're not trying to make him stop, and see that he actually, there's a process he goes through, and it gets real intense, and then he's settles down, and then he feels better. If you can see that happen in front of you, it'll help you feel like, maybe I can do this too. Maybe it's actually safe to do this.
Right.
I think that just in general, slowing down, especially when you're feeling intense feelings, if you can carve out some space and some time to step out of your routine, or step out of the normal intensity, or trying to make things more intense or escape to avoid it. Those are good signals when you feel yourself, whatever your escapist thing is that you're about to do. If you can take a pause, even just for a few minutes, and just sit quietly and notice what kind of thoughts come up, notice what kind of feelings or sensations you have in your body, that can be very helpful for a man who's actually in an active grief process. So he's lost his spouse, or his relationship's ended, or a child has died, or he's lost his job. One of the things you talked about in your previous video on the subject was, going out and run.
Right.
Is a helpful thing for you. Movement is always great. And also building things, creating things. You might, if you're not artistically inclined, or if you're not inclined to write a poem or to do something like that, you can always build something.
Right.
You can build something, and it doesn't have to be like someone would look at it and go, "Oh, that's about your grief." You can just build something, or create something, whatever your mode of building and creation is, that is an expression of your honoring that loss. Sometimes people take on these projects that they don't necessarily understand where they're going with these things, and then when it's done, they know when they're done. But it's a way to, again, it's another sort of defragmentation, externalization, and you create this artifact, right? Whatever it is, maybe it's a birdhouse, maybe it's a doghouse, maybe you weld some metal together or something to put in the front yard, who knows? But it's helpful for men to do something that, not in addition to being quiet and feeling and crying and having support and all those things, but to go out and sort of build something, conquer something, run a marathon, not as a way to try to avoid it, but as a way to get your body fully into the process.
Absolutely.